Hello, let's play a bunch of daily word games. The games are daily, the series is weekly, at least for now, on Mondays. Um, our bonus game today is Don't Wordle. So the goal of this game is to lose the Wordle, but it's harder than you think because we have to always guess something that could still be the answer. So we can get unlucky and just guess the answer. But we can also just kind of run ourselves into a hole where there aren't enough answers left and we're going to end up guessing it. We get up to 5 undos. So what should we start with? Should I do random starting word? I feel like maybe I should. Let's do that. So normally you would want to start with something like fluff, which repeats a bunch of letters. So starting with charm, we're already down to 1,758 words left. It could be worse. So I think this is our opportunity to use the A multiple times. And then maybe we can I don't know, can we get a Z or an X or a Q? Is there like a QU? Can't put the A in the middle because it's yellow there. Aqua. I don't like using the common letters early, but yeah, and then also this introduces the U as well. I mean, that's the problem with Q is it does also force you to use the U with it. Ooh, okay, so the Z or the X. And then ideally we are not introducing another vowel if we're going to do a double A. I mean, I could do, I can't do llama for 2 reasons. We've eliminated the M and the A can't go in the middle. I'm trying to figure out how to repeat letters here. There's ayaya, but that puts A in the middle, unfortunately. Alarm. Is there some way to do maybe I need to abandon the idea of doing double A right now. It means bringing in more. So I'd like to do AA like this. There must be a word like this, but I'm trying to get uncommon letters with it. Pagan, like just doing 3 consonants feels bad, especially with that N there. I mean, pagan is a bunch of common letters. There's also a strategy of trying to solve it. Now you know what the answer is, and you undo. I try to avoid doing that because I don't like using undos unless I have to, but it is a very viable strategy. Is there like a JA something A? Like maybe Java. Again, I don't like using the S until I have to, but it might be worth it in this case. Let's try Javas. We know it won't be the answer. Okay, I placed the A, which is really unfortunate, but I guess that's what was going to happen when I did A. The A's there. But the A fourth is really hard. Are we an AY word maybe? Ooh, I could have done a lay. Didn't think of it. AL. I could do banal. Oh no, that uses the A. So I'm gonna have to use another vowel. Maybe I could do a QU at this point. Ooh, but the A there makes it tough, and I don't have the S to do SQU like squad. Okay, Java's did not work out. I could do like an OA word here. Bloke. I don't. What's wrong with bloke? Oh, because it's like that. Okay. Is there an LOAD or LOAN? Is there like a blow? This is actually surprisingly hard to find something for. AJAT? No. Is there an AX word? Is there a UA? Seems hard. U here and then an A. or I here in A. A-L, A-D. Okay, there's gonad. I mean, at this point, I kind of just want to know what the answer is. Maybe I'll use them undos. All right, we're down to 14 words. Not looking good. It's O-A. Maybe can it start or and end with L? Local, but there's no C. Starting with a random word is loyal. This might be the answer, to be honest. Yeah, okay. Well, I solved it in 4. I did really poorly on this one because I just kept moving forward instead of undoing. Honestly, starting with the getting a random word of charm, I was already defeated at the start. Oh well. Maybe next time I play it in another few months. You can always put it on the bonus wheel if you remember, if you want to see me struggle at this some more. Cool. Let's move on to Dordle. We're going to start with loyal. All right, hey, 4th, wonderful. But the right side has nothing, so let's do, I don't know, stern. That seems fun. Okay, it ends in A-N. That's interesting. Is the right word knight, perhaps? Nope. I think I still want to guess the right word. A yellow and 2 greens is more info than 3 yellows. Would it be like a... We can't end in N or T. Can't put the I second. What the heck is this? In something? In intro. In... Inuit, but we can't have the T there. All right, I'm going to guess the left word just because I can't figure out what this right word does. Is it an IAN word somehow? There must be one, right? Or is it I something something AN? Incan? No, unfortunately it's a proper name, so it's not it. IAN. There must be something. Why can't I figure out either side? Do I just do a filler then? Let's see. In. Is it not in? Is it? I mean, in feels like the only option. I could be in the middle, and I could do like NIT, I suppose, like knit. Knit is a 4-letter word. In it. Is anion a word for the left? No, it's anion with an O. Oof. Okay, I'm going to do a filler just because I can't figure out either of these words. I need to keep going. How about... Actually, maybe I should start with in and then just get more letters. So I want to know if either of these words start with I. Maybe it's better just to get a bunch of new letters, though. Something like pluck seems reasonable. Trying to see if I can get 5 new letters. It's tough. Let's just do pluck. There's a C on and a U on the right word. In tuck. In. What the heck? On. Tick. On. Unit. C. C. U. What the heck? Not that. In. Oh my gosh, what is this word? What am I thinking about wrong? On the left, I got nothing. Do I do another filler? I really want to do big Indican. On. I'm going to do untie. That's my filler. Okay. So the I is 4th. It's going to be an IC word, probably. Tunic. There we go. Okay. And now I have to get this left word. And I know nothing. Avian. I had it with the Ian. I think I almost had it earlier. All right. Avian and tunic. Two tough words, actually. All right. Let's move on to Fibble. So in Fibble, each guess has a lie, meaning, normally Wordle would actually have colored this a little bit differently. And what it did is it took the Wordle coloring for whatever the answer is, and then it took one of the colors and it changed it. Exactly one color is definitely changed. So a green might become a gray or a yellow might become a gray or a green, etc. So I like to use as much of the previous letters as possible, which means use this L and C. And then we'll say the lie was this K, because we should be able to come up with something easy, like flick, trick. No, not trick. We need the L second. Let's try flick. So the lie is that this K should have been green. All right, so we got an interesting result here. I call this an X-wing. Basically, we already know where both lies are. There are two lies, right? One's in pluck, one's in flick. We know where both are, kind of. We know that one of these C's is lying because they disagree. We know one of these K's is lying because they disagree. So one of the lies is in the C's, one of the lies is in the K's, meaning all the other ones cannot be lying. So we either end in CK or we don't have a C and K at all. So let's see if we can come up with another word that ends in CK. What can go before the L? There actually aren't as many letters that can go before L as I usually think. Let's try slack, though. All right, so now we know that we can't have both CK. We're going to have two lies here. So we know these are the truths, these are the lies, and these are the truths. We know the L is telling the truth. So I'm going to try an SLA word. Sling. All right, we know this L is true. We have another X-wing. One of these S's is lying, one of these A's is lying. That's really lucky. We don't normally get that lucky. But that is why we target the same letters again. So it could be an SLAN word. Slant. And it was. Okay. So only greens today. That's kind of crazy. In fact, I don't think there was an opportunity to get a yellow. The lies were always either a green that should have been gray or a gray that should have been green. Interesting. I don't think I've had a game that clean before. All right, let's move on to Betweenle. We're going to start with slant. So the way this game works is it's telling us, hey, our answer is 16% away from the very start of the alphabet, and it's 62% away from slant of all words. Notice this doesn't add to 100%, so you can actually devise that 38% of all words are after slant. And we're just talking about like if you were to alphabetize them like in a dictionary. So 16% away from all A's. I think we're in C's, maybe D's, but let's do a late C. Cubic. All right, so I went too far. I think at 3.1% away from cubic, I think we could easily be an early C. We could try cedar. All right, cedar went up, so we're a little bit middling in C, maybe civic. All right, so we might, are we CI or are we CL? I think we're gonna have to be CL. Maybe even like a little bit into CL, like cling. Ooh, okay, so 0.07 you can kind of think of as about 7 words. So we're 7 words before cling. Just it's not perfect, but it works pretty well. So I think we're gonna be CLI. I don't know if we're an N though. It could be climb. Okay, so CLI and then maybe an L. Okay. The problem is after if we're eliminating M after CLI, there's not much that can go there. Click was it. Okay. Cool. Got click in 7. All right, let's move on. Word 500. I will start with click against my better judgment. All right, all red is one of the best results you can get in word 500 because instead of coloring the letters, we're just told how many there are, the counts. So 5 red is obvious. It means that they're all red. So we just know that those letters aren't in the word. I'm going to try stare. 1 green, 2 yellows, and stare. I like to assume we got the vowels right. I like to end in E. And then that means we have a yellow A. And then, so we're thinking like A here, E here. What's a good letter to put with that? Honestly, I love the aced trap. And I can't really justify doing anything like that. We have both S and T. But do I want the T? Like start like table? No, there's no L. I'm thinking like a TA something something E or RA. We could also do like an AR something E. Have the R be yellow. Something like barge. Let's try that. 1 green, 1 yellow. So let's say that if we still had the vowels, that would mean no R. And it would also mean we have to start with A, end with E. I don't think we're ending in AE. And then use an S or a T. Ooh, okay. This is getting harder, but I don't think it's impossible. Is there like a USE? Abuse would be great, but we know there's no B. Amuse. I think amuse is okay. It would be a yellow S here with no T. And then the M is not used, the U is not used. I think we're okay. 2 yellows. Okay, so we've learned quite a lot here because we know the E can't be green. So maybe the E's been yellow the whole time. And then if the A were yellow the whole time, we could have an A fourth, which is reasonable. And that would mean no MUS. And that would mean, oh, one of these has to be green. So we could have the A be green here, I suppose, instead of the E. Sorry, I forgot that was how that was colored. And then we need to have a T. And the T would be green here, actually. Was I ignoring the fact that I needed a green? No, I was using the E as green. Okay, yeah, so what I was doing was okay. I can't have an A and a T green second. So that's not going to work. I think we have the E all the way down, and I think we just don't have an A. I think that's going to be easier to do. Not that it's forced, but... So I could have had the R be green here and yellow here. I don't know which of these letters I'd want. Maybe the S would be green and then yellow here. Okay, I think that's reasonable. Like, would it be S-E-R or would it be S something R-E? S-E-R? Surdy. S-R-E? The problem is this isn't really a word. I mean, I could guess soars and see how that does color-wise. 2 greens and soars. So there's no, I mean, it still means we could have, oh, sorry, that would mean no E. Yeah, okay, so obviously I didn't pick the correct letters here. I mean, I still want an E. Okay, let's say the E was yellow here, and yellow here. That would mean it's green here. The other one is green here. I could start with an S, both of these. And that would mean no R, O or R or second S. And so the S would be yellow here. No AMU. And then I need a green here. It's not going to be the B. It's not going to be the G. So it would be forced to be the R, and that would be the yellow R there. So we'd actually be S something RE. And I thought I ruled that out. Is siren a word with a Y there? It is, but it's not our word. Wait, no, but the R was supposed to be red. Oh, then how could it be green there? Okay, I completely messed that up. All right, well, we got some info at least. I mean, we were still pointing to yellow E, yellow E, yellow E, green E, green E. We're also pointing at green R, green R. Maybe that's what happened here. All these R's are green. Okay, I think this is reasonable. No S. Yellow R. No S. Do we have an A? No, we don't have a B, A, or a G. Okay, so then the T is green here. Ooh. So it would be T-R-E, and then I need an M or a U somewhere, which just makes no sense at all. Okay, so again, I want the E. I mean, it's possible we don't have the E, but I'm trying really hard to keep the E for whatever reason. That means we can't have the R. I could have the S correct here, here, and here. So no, oh, siren's going to have another yellow. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I think I didn't even do the last analysis right. Oh no, I just guessed siren. No, I didn't. I didn't do the last analysis right. I'm doing very poorly here. ORS. So this would be yellow. So no AMU. The T would have to be yellow. The R would be red. I need a green G. It can't be the green. Okay, this doesn't work. I'm getting rid of the E. Let's get rid of the E. So I'm thinking we have to use the R. So it would have to be green here. And I'm thinking we have to use the S green here. Let's try that. So no OS. I still need a Y or an N. Yellow this time. So yellow Y might make sense. Yellow N doesn't really make any sense. Okay, and then up here, so the R would be yellow and the S would be green. And I still need another yellow. Is it something like stray? No, stray uses too many letters, but got to think about the A. Hold on. No, I think we get the S here. The R is green here. We haven't tried A here. So the A could be yellow here, yellow here, yellow here. No MU, no T, no GB. And then a yellow Y. So we get S something RAY. Spray. Stray was close. It was spray. Okay. Well, I got there. I made some very poor guesses with very poor analysis, but I did actually get the answer. So ultimately, it worked out. Cool. Very hard to play this game in hard mode because it doesn't enforce it for you. You have to self-enforce, and so if you make a mistake, you still end up making a non-hard mode guess. All right. Let's do Polygonle. The way this game works is it tells us where letters repeat and where they don't. So we have a single letter repeating in all three of these spots, and then none of the other letters repeat at all. So I like the idea of maybe an E here, because then we can do like an ED, ER, ES. I like the idea of like something like this, eder ending. But how do I do two letters? Sleeter. Sleeper. Okay, well, it was valid, but it's not an E here. What else could go here? Is if it's a vowel, it's an O, and I don't really like that idea. So maybe something like a T. We aren't a plural anymore. But T's like to double up, N's, D's. I don't know, can I put a T here? We'd probably end in Y then, I would think. I don't really like that though. What letter goes here? F? I don't know what else we're ending in besides well, if we did N, I could end in NT. ANT. Binant, bonant, monant. All right, I'm gonna do a filler because I can't figure this out. I'd like to end in Y if I can. Always hard to think of long words. Chant. Think. Finick. How do you spell finicky? Can you spell it this way? Apparently. All right, so we found out that this is an N. We have a C somewhere. I think the C has to go here, although I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it's cinnamon, isn't it? Wait. No, that's how you spell cinnamon. It could be an NT, like an INT here, but wait. I mean, the I either goes here or here. I don't think we end in INC, do we? Is an ING word and it's canning? Okay. I don't know why I didn't think of ING. I usually try ING, and ING would have given me all the letters, and I would have come up with canning. It's been too long since I've like played this game properly. I always try ING, and today I didn't, and it was an ING word, of course. All right, let's do the mini. Stout. There's a U there. Interesting. So is this like an S or something? No. What's going on here? What do we put after this U? Maybe like an OU? What can we put here? I was thinking R, but that doesn't work. AU? How do we repeat a letter here? Right, I know it's not this, but I could guess pin up. But let's just not use the U then. Let's just do a filler. I want R, N, L, some good vowels. Is there like a something R ending in L? Something like grail might be good. All gray. Okay. Another one then. Bench. Ooh. Venue. Oh, it's a repeated E. Oh. Wow, just not thinking about this game correctly anymore. All right, let's move on to Symble. I always start Symble with blaze. Okay, so I think this symbol could be green. It often isn't actually, but I like to test the LA. So we could do something like sling. Ooh, you know what? It could be something like Galand. Yes, there we go. All right. So the yellows work a little differently in Symble. You'll notice that this isn't saying the S goes elsewhere. It's saying a different letter in our word goes first. And the only letter we were allowed to move was the G, because all three of these were locked in with the greens. So we had to move the G to the front. So it was definitely GLAN, and gland was the first word I thought of. Might be the only word. Cool. Got it in 3. That went better than the previous couple games. Let's do the blind Fusele. So this one combines a bunch of games together. So in our first guess, we have to repeat a letter. So we're gonna have a twist every guess that we're forced to do. And the twist does not have to match the solution. So the twists do not help you find the solution. In fact, they get in your way most of the time. We can't do gland because that doesn't repeat a letter. Is there something similar? Not that I can think of. So let's just do a fun word that repeats a letter, like like STR. Maybe something like ratty. Okay, all gray. So in this one, we have 3 incognito tiles, meaning whatever we guess, we're only going to get info about these 2 letters. So I want to put common letters here, like an S here and an N here if possible. So if we do something like, we should technically go for something that could be the answer, but like sing, I don't want to repeat the S. Sinus. I was thinking about just doing sonar, which can't be the answer. I guess that's fine. I just don't want to repeat any letters. All right, so we start with S. That's good to know. So it might be an SL word. So here we're yellow green will be ambiguous. So if it's yellow or green, it'll just show up as a yellow green tile. So we'll just know it's in the word, but not if it's in the right place. What am I doing with SL? Slick. All right, still just the S. We know it's there from previous ones. This is going to give us Symble-like coloring. So instead of yellows, we'll get blues. It'll be colored similarly to Symble. Except we don't have to decode the symbols. How do we? What is this word though? We have an E maybe. So like a E at the end, like an O here maybe. I thought of spore, but there's no R. Spoke, but there's no K. Smoke, there's no K. What am I doing? SM, SP, SW, SH. SH works. Shove. Or I could just get the answer. Okay. I'll take it. Cool. All right. I feel like not my best performance today. I completely flubbed Don't Wordle. Dordle took me a while. I messed up the word 500 and the polygonals, but you know what? We made it through the games. So there's that. Hope you enjoyed this. If you tried these games, let me know how you did. And if you did enjoy this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.